Latvia, Latvia, Latvia. It's a great day today, unlike my condo in Puerto Vallarta. So, if you want to avoid all the mind control that I talk about often, and I gave a speech at the Romanian Parliament about mind control, and also gave a speech at the European Parliament in Brussels, Belgium on mind control in May. There's a couple of things you got to do. So we're going to focus on solutions today in the snowy streets of Latvia, Riga, Latvia. You have to be strong. All forms of mind control, is there a car coming behind me? No. All forms of mind control are based on weakness. The weaker you are, the more you'll comply. But when you talk to people about weakness today, you'll usually have them think about physical weakness. And that's one of the areas of weakness. If you're physically weak, if you don't feel like you're strong, you don't feel like you can push against the herd, either physically or mentally. Like if you don't feel mentally well, like sort of physically strong enough in the mental area to push back against people who have bad ideas. I'm going to put my hood up. Here we go. If you don't feel mentally strong, because mind control isn't about a zombie with their hands out straight, moaning and groaning, looking for brains. That's not what mind control is about. It's about someone coming up to you and saying, hey, would you like to do this? And if you don't, and there could be three people, and you're one person. This is how mind control works in a lot of cases as well, is that you are basically, you feel like you're outnumbered. If there was a physical confrontation or even a mental confrontation, you probably don't feel strong enough to go against the herd. So you're like, yeah, I think that's a good idea. Not because it's a good idea, but because you feel you're too weak to resist. If you're looking for solutions to mind control, just understand the simplicity of what mind control is. It's not like someone coming with a magic wand and, sort of taking over your body and you're like this glazed trance state. You're going to be acting and thinking, talking like you are, except you're going to be going along with some really stupid ideas. And a lot of people go along with these stupid ideas because they're weak. And a lot of the stupid ideas, they're just based on group pressure. Like one of the dumbest ideas is that someone goes to work for a corporation and thinks, you know what? This is what the person thinks. Okay, I'll do shit I don't like doing for 30 years in a row, only to reach the age of 65. And then I'll get a pension. It'll barely pay my rent because of inflation. And then, and only then, I'll live my life out. That's stupid, but people do it all the time because of this majority group pressure effect. And when you make that move, this corporate move or going to work for the government, everybody's so excited. I got a job with the government. I'm like, yeah, awesome, eh? You're going to do shit you don't like doing 10 hours a day for your whole life, only to get like between 3 and 6 weeks vacation. You never explore your innate potential. And people are like, yeah, that's a good trade-off. That's one of those ideas. It doesn't make any sense. And that will also make someone financially weak. Because of course, when you work for corporations, they, as well as the government, don't want you leaving that job. You're like a honeybee in a honey farm. It's really important you stay there, producing the honey for your corporate farmers, and producing the tax honey for the government. So they're not going to give you any financial strength. They're going to tax you, what's called taxation. And they don't need the money. Have you not noticed that they don't need the money? The countries run all the time, regardless of how much debt they carry. See, their debt and your debt don't work the same. If you're in big time debt, you stop working. When they're in big time debt, they just keep moving because it's all sort of imaginary. So they don't want you having any financial strength as well, because then you're very prone to keep complying with the illogical and irrational ideas that they put forward. See, they don't need the tax revenue. They just make sure that you don't have it. Because if you had it, you would have more power. And when you have more power and you have more strength, you're more able to decline their dictates, mandates, and anything else that's illegal, illogical, and irrational that comes down the pipe. So there's physical strength. Like, are you working out all the time? Not every single day, but are you on an exercise regime? And if you're not, you're physically weak. And that's going to really bite you in the ass. And it probably bit a whole bunch of people in the ass in 2020 forward, because the people that complied, again, physically weak. Factors. There's factors. It's not a guarantee. It's not an all or nothing. There's gray areas. But generally, physically weak, you comply. Financially weak, you comply. Like if your employer tells you, you got to do X, Y, and Z or you're fired, if you don't have hundreds of thousands of dollars in the bank, you're going to comply. So physical strength, financial strength, spiritual strength. Like, do you even know why you're here on this earth? You're not here to work for someone else to gain entertainment and rent and food credits and then go home and watch actors kill each other on Netflix and plow your face with junk food poison. That's not why you're here. So you're spiritually weak. Do you understand what you're doing here on this planet? Emotional strength. Do you have emotional strength? Most people today base their decisions on emotion, which is proven the dumbest way to make decisions. The emotional part of the brain is the lowest IQ part of the brain, and everybody's emotionally wound up. Like, do you have any emotional strength where you can see a crisis happening, step back and have stability? And of course, intellectual strength. Are you just getting your intelligence from like clips on the news, National Geographic, Time Magazine, CNN? You're going to be intellectually weak. So those are the 5 areas that you'll have to dig into in order to sidestep whatever mind control campaign comes down the pipe next. And if you need more information like this, and if you need to know how to build these areas of strength, especially financial strength, people are like so stunned when it comes to gaining wealth and having ideas that produce monetary income for them. Email me at info@jchristoff.com. I'll get you on my private email list. This is Jason Christoff, signing out.